But if you could explain to us some of the medals that we're looking at.
Well, we've got a Bronze Star, the Air Medal. The Air Medal was generally granted for about every 35 combat missions, and I was right around the second Air Medal when I quit flying. This is an Army Commendation Medal. The Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry is issued by the Republic of Vietnam. This is Vietnam Service Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, and the National Defense Medal. Most of these, if you pay attention and don't screw up, you get one of those. The Bronze Star and the Air Medal and the Army Commendation Medal are the special ones, actually.
And did you receive these once you finished your tour?
Actually, I got the Bronze Star shortly after finishing my tour as a crew chief, and the Air Medal shortly after that. The Army Commendation Medal, I think, was later, as I was close to the end of the tour.
Did you feel a sense of pride when you were receiving these medals, or what was going through your head?
I'm sure I was proud to have done the job. I think whatever job I did, and maybe the reason I survived was simply a matter of trying to focus on doing the best you could, every single day when you went out. Whether you were door gunner or crew chief, whatever it happened to be. If you didn't do the job well, you were going to get killed, so you might as well do it well.
Do it right the first time.
So,
and here we
you only get one time.
This is also very true. Here we have you back in the heyday.
I've got, this is my John Wayne picture. Looks like that guy out of Jurassic Park that chased the raptors, but I think in the evenings, a lot of times there was time that people would sit around taking pictures to send home to whoever you were sending your pictures home to. In my case, it was my wife. And I wrote letters either every day or every other day, probably, back home. So,
let's talk about when you arrived home. Mm-hmm. It's known about some of the disrespect that soldiers received, particularly in this war. Baby killer was a popular term. Did you receive the same type of welcome, if you will, when you arrived back home, or what was your experience when you stepped off the plane?
I did not experience much of that or any of that I can remember. At the same time, I don't think that I talked much with people about the war. When I came back, I went back to law school and finished law school after I came back from Vietnam. I had 2 years left of law school to finish. And I went back to law school, and there were a lot of us, frankly, that were coming back from Vietnam. There were quite a few people, actually, in my law school class who had been gone for the same period of time from the end of our first year until the time we came back 3 years later. And I think for the most part, people just didn't talk about it for a long time. And so, and by not talking about it, people just didn't know that you'd served, and so you didn't get much reaction.
How do you pick up life after war?
I tried to move on, I guess, as if nothing had happened, although I think you are clearly changed by the experience. I can remember jumping out of bed one time as a car backfired going down the street in the middle of the night. I was ready to roll under the bed. But after a while, even that went away.
Since then, what have you been doing?
Well, for the past 40 years, I've been living a 10-year plan, basically. I've done a lot of different things. As I said, I finished law school, practiced law, worked for corporations in legal and management jobs, and I've been teaching at Penn State for the last 8 years, and I will be retiring in about 2 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a great experience. You know, I went to Penn State as an undergraduate and first came to this campus 50 years ago last month. And I'm now retiring from Penn State, so it's been a great run. I've had a pretty good life.
Congratulations, Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you
So much for talking with us
Thank you.
today.
It's been a pleasure.
We are, right?
We are Penn State.
Thank you so much for watching today. From all of us here, we'd like to thank you.